December 1970, and it's Tottenham against Manchester United. And what about the team sheet? Well, many of the 55,000 crowd at White Hart Lane drawn by the presence of Best. Steve Perryman still going strong for the club. Marvellous names like Gilzean, Chivers, Peters, Mullery, and England. And for United, Jimmy Rimmer, now of Swansea in goal, along with Law, Best, Charlton and company. And in the crowd, the England manager of the time, Sir Alf Ramsey.
Oh, Best in a bit of space. Beale jogging alongside him. Kidd has made the burst, and a good burst too. Perryman right back, and a corner to Manchester United. And pushed away and over the line, says the linesman, and the goal is given, and it's Sadler who has scored it. No, not given. Not given. Wilf McGuinness, I think, must have been a little disappointed that the goal he thought had been given and then it wasn't. Bobby Charlton. Aston, number 11, and Knowles watching him. Kidd looking for that one, and Law! There it is by Denis Law! Well, would you believe it? For 30 minutes they're outclassed, and then in a flash, Law puts Manchester United in front. What an astonishing turnabout, but what a superb piece of opportunism by Denis Law. England. Nobody can doubt that Denis Law, 8 seasons at Manchester United, they really have been 8 most exciting seasons for everybody who's watched him. Knowles now to Pearce, a Spurs storm back, and Chivers almost putting it through. What a save, though, by Rimmer to get down as quickly as that. Knowles. For Mullery again, and Knowles once more. Aim towards Chivers and Gilzean, and Chivers going in on it, Gilzean! Oh, what a save by Rimmer! How did he keep that out? Brian Kidd to George Best. Fitzpatrick. Best going in on it, Best! Oh, beautifully taken by Best! What a magnificent goal by Best! What a magnificent goal that destroyed that Tottenham defence. He started it off and then took it beautifully on his body round that Spurs defence and made it number 2. Cyril Knowles. Chivers looking to make a run towards it, but in fact it's Perryman now. Pearce, Knowles again with a chance to lift it once more. Peters waiting at that far side, getting it in! Martin Peters! 2-1! Well, that really does open it up again. Knowles for the umpteenth time putting it across that Manchester United goal mouth. And there, lifting himself above the ruck, Martin Peters, to make it 2-1. One that even Jimmy Rimmer couldn't stop. Crowd, I think, claiming that Chivers was pushed again there by James, but it's Spurs in possession once more, and they're very intelligently spreading this game out as wide as they can. Now it's Knowles turning it in. Oh, Gilzean! 2-2! What a goal by Gilzean! Oh, and what a comeback by Tottenham! Again the cross from the left, and again Gilzean with that head of his to flick it wide of Rimmer. Chivers. Pearce to Mullery. Wide there for Knowles. This is where the goals have come from. And across that goal, and just past that post as the crowd tumbles down behind it, and it needed the merest touch to make it 3-2 to Tottenham. And a United player down injured. And Steve James and Fitzpatrick and Law. There's a fight, in fact, between the United players on the field. Angry with each other. and Denis Law in the middle of it. David Sadler as well, angry obviously with Mallory, who is acting very wisely and sensibly as a peacemaker. But obviously Law, full of anger and anguish that this 2-goal lead should have been lost. And there, at the end, exactly as it should finish. Gilzean. Peters. First time across that goal. Pearce at the far side. It wouldn't reach him, so it's Mallory to drive it just over. And now, Willie Watson looping it into that Spurs penalty area. Fitzpatrick there, Law with one of those jackknife headers once more. Knowles. Pearce neatly slipping it inside. Perryman, a beautiful ball by Perryman to Knowles. And now there are plenty of white men waiting for it amongst them. Peters and Gilzean! Oh, just passed off the knees of Chivers.
I wonder who that shouting commentator was. It finished in a 2-2 draw, and I'm sure that's brought back a whole host of memories.